So, so I watched this thing, I this so-called romance comedy, although more of a romance, really, or shall I say, attempted romance. I really have no idea. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is why I just do not follow average ratings at all. This is absurd. Sometimes it does seem like everything I don't like, other people like, and vice versa. Um, well, people seem to like Spellbound, but I mean, yeah, I liked Spellbound. This was nothing in comparison, though. Uh, no, nothing in comparison. This was weak, in my opinion. So weak. So let's begin. Yeah. Um, in terms of mm, I mean, Spellbound, yeah, it was, but yeah, actually, Spellbound is rated on average less, seen by fewer people, but sometimes fewer people means a higher average rating as well. So shall we say, yes, my interests are diametrically opposed. Not like I mean, my average rating for Spellbound was 7, and average here is right now 6.9, so not quite very different. But this is ridiculous. This people must have seen something else. Maybe they watched the movie where the translation was superior. I don't know. That the translation was an issue, but overall, I thought the movie itself was weak. Really, I mean, this is absurd. 7.6 people think it's worth on average by 4,000 raters. Yeah. Anyway, um, this is why really I block. I try to block average ratings at least before I watch the movie anyway. So there's no point really. People like whatever they like, and many instances I liked what people hated, and I hated what people liked. So anyway, let's begin then. I mean, it's absurd, right? First of all, it's not a comedy, right? I mean, what it has is slapstick at best, and doesn't really go. I really should just stop saying this nonsense. The average rating for Google is even worse. It's 5 apparently, which is apparently most it can be. Well, maybe 4.5, which apparently is scaled upwards. Then, yeah, people must have some rose-tinted glasses. I mean, I thought it was just weak, right? Like that. So, so they seemingly just brought in a bunch of romantic tropes. Not even I mean proper romance. I mean, Spellbound had sort of similar stuff, but somehow it was funnier, right? But even when they tried to be funny, they were just not funny. I mean, yeah, they tried to be funny by just like just throwing a stick upwards and then just going away because it might hit you. I mean, well, what and and by the way, the makeup they were playing it was just absurd. Like at some point, I could barely recognize the people. I mean, it changed so much. What was the point of that if you could barely recognize, right? Like that happened to the male protagonist at the end, at least at the end. You don't know not like hair in the middle part. You know, she's upset if I'm thinking, yeah, is this the same person? I mean, it's not like they even, specifically showed her transforming, yeah, slow motion or something. It's the most bizarre movie I've ever seen. I think the only thing I liked is the cinematography. I mean, you know, if you go and film in such a place, then I guess you will have naturally good cinematography. But other than that, really, what's the point of this? Just I don't get it. I've seen horror films from Thailand that were better. Yeah, the one where the abortion happened. That I cannot believe this. It was that. Never mind. But yeah, that was more effective. I mean, that wasn't supposed to be a comedy. I mean, it might have had some things, but this was supposed to be, I suppose. I mean, they seemingly tried to make it more of a comedy, but this was such clumsy slapstick that it didn't turn out to be, good comedy. It just didn't. And it's not realistic either. It's like entirely non-realistic. So how am I supposed to think at the end? Oh, how lovely! They really finally came. I just what was the point? There's no point, is there? Oh yeah, sure. So after she, uh, and in comparison to Spellbound, I mean, this is better in comparison, really. Spellbound is mature in comparison. Now it did have horror, a bit of horror at least, as another genre, which this didn't, but it wasn't really the focus at any rate. So the focus was effectively the same couple of genres that this one was also about. Comedy and horror, and I mean comedy and romance supposedly, and Spellbound did both really well in my opinion. This one didn't though. I mean, the comedy just floundered. It wasn't really comedy. It was just clumsy, as I said, and well, the romance floundered because it just kept on going on and on, and they kept effectively, for the sake of the so-called comedy, it just didn't develop at all until at the end it's rejected. But it just it's not realistic. I mean, what kind of, and then why would someone cry so much over what was effectively a crush? I mean, I don't know. Many things just did not fit in and just didn't feel the same. Whereas Spellbound, just it was fresh in a way. I don't know. It was really. I mean, it, in my opinion, it was funny. I did actually laugh out loud sometimes. With this one, I didn't even smile. Like that's the lowest bar you can get with comedy, right? Where you just smile. Like the only instance where I did was when she just stepped onto the pool. That's pretty much it. The funniest scene. You know? They didn't have many others though like that. That was sort of a junction where one could say reasonably that it was funny. But, in comparison, Spellbound had a lot more of that, in fact, you know? I mean, sure, some was aided by the horror elements, so I guess they cannot directly be compared to this one, since it didn't have something similar. But, I don't know. I mean, it also had some drama in it, which did as well. But it was done so much better. The drama here consisted of just love triangles and jealousy. It's all very stereotypical. And as I said, the makeup was, in my opinion, idiotic and horrendous. Really, I didn't see the point of it. Um, and I don't know if it's Thai culture, but some of the things they were um, using as analogies and such were horrible as well. But I don't know. I often wonder whether I have different eyes from others because most things, many things, let's just say many things, that I don't like or like is the, opposite situation. Not all, many though, like even the top 250 on IMDb, I've seen a few, and most I would give on average, two less than most people do. Something that I think something is really bad. Like this one was really bad, but yeah, but uh, not like not the worst ever. I mean, I think I cannot think of anything worse I've seen, but um, but it's mediocre at best. Right? I just maybe I shouldn't have watched something with this title. Of course, I'm just of the opinion that one should never say never, to say a cliche, but the title was already sort of off-putting. I mean, I realize now it's the title of some songs from some famous bands, so I suppose others have already trodden this path. It's a very cheesy title at best, and didn't do much really beyond that. I mean, it really fulfilled the cheesiness of the title and didn't do anything beyond that, in my opinion. Really, really insipid. But then one can never really tell from a title, can I? You know, I wouldn't have thought, from I mean, I couldn't tell anything from a title like Spellbound. It was going to be either good or bad. It just is. It's just a single word. So no, I don't try to judge by the title. And I didn't try to judge this by the title. I mean, there was a bit of this thing when going in, such a title, but I don't know. When it comes, I guess, to romantic stories, it's also a subjective thing, I assume, just like comedy itself. But well, in my opinion, I mean, it had so little comedy. Now, of course, I should say it again. I don't know if maybe that just the translation wasn't strong. Just wasn't. I mean, I mostly got the gist of most things that they were saying, but I don't know why translators exist. Like I encountered this so many times. It's ridiculous. Why are the translators? If if I do not know a language to a certain degree, I wouldn't think, oh, let's translate into it. What's the point of that? Why do they do this? Just leave it untranslated. It's better than translating it into some weird stuff. I think they might have tried to use some sort of machine translator as well for it. At one point, they mentioned some weird thing here. What was it? Claudication. What the hell? Just what? I don't think even. Apparently, I mean, it's a medical condition, and the guy thought she had it apparently just because she was limping. So the translator apparently didn't know what the word limping presumably, and just translated whatever in their own language, and it happened to translate into some medical condition for some reason. It doesn't seem like claudation really has limping as a symptom, so I have no idea what happened there. It's bizarre. I just wish they just didn't translate. I mean, they cannot translate, and they just do not have. They just ruin movies. I mean, I realized it was going to be strange from the third minute, so I guess I could have just switched it off then when something is just too bad. Like, once I was going to start a 100 episode anime with a really, really bad translation. I just switched it off. There's no way I could last 100 episodes. I guess movies are slightly different. They're the equivalent of what, three episodes, I guess, or so. Hour and a half. In this case, it's like 4 episodes or something, maybe 5. But it's still a real experience. I mean, but still, I mean, if most people did watch this and still gave it an average of 7.6, ridiculous. I don't know what they watched, honestly. They were they just gave themselves to the ending. I'm assuming. I mean, the ending is so cheesy as well. It's you could have such an ending if the rest was built on a solid foundation. It wasn't. And in fact, the rest was cheesy as well. So you just have cheese and more cheese. I mean, and that's supposed to be worth 7.6, really? While Spellbound is never mind. I'm just complaining too much, I guess. But honestly, in my opinion, Spellbound was miles better. Um, I don't know. I don't think I've seen a good romance anime since Spellbound, and I don't actually watch many, so it's a bit annoying. The one I watched turns out to be the most cheesy thing. To be fair, I didn't actually watch this. Well, I mean, I should have really. I guess maybe that's the problem, but it wasn't though. I mean, it's not like even if I didn't go in thinking it's going, I mean, it's obviously going to be a romance with the title, but even if you go in with that mindset, even if you go in with the mindset of, oh, let's get some comedy, well, it had neither. That's the thing. So there we go. 2 hours that felt like a waste of time, really, but whatever. Good cinematography, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess good cinematography is, yeah. Hey, I had some. I saw a statue of an elephant in the street. Oh, I wouldn't mind living somewhere with statues of elephants. No, instead, yeah, never mind. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Cinematography. Full stop. Beyond that, I really don't know about anything else. I've liked, I think Thai cinemas, I think they might be good at comedy horror. Even just horror on its own. I think that was a horror. Yeah, I think it was horror on its own. Where the one based on my Nakma, not the one with the abortion. That was pure horror, but even that affected me much more. I mean, okay, it's not directly comparable because it doesn't have comedy. I don't know why I thought it was comedy earlier, but anyway, that is another Thai movie, and then another is Ghosts All Around as well. I mean, okay, slightly different because they're horror, but even Ghosts All Around though had comedy and it was better than this, and that was an attempt at being a horror movie as well. So a horror movie can have more comedy than a romantic movie in Thailand. I mean, I'm not going to try to think, that all romantic comedies will be like this from Thailand. Obviously, that would be, uh, a generalization. But well, this was though, in my opinion. I've seen it, and I think I can say it was. Beyond that,